Hello YouTube, thanks for joining us. We've got another look at this 1950 Studebaker powered by a brand new Mustang engine and transmission. We've redone the floor, we've got the foot controls in, the steering column has arrived, also the shifter has joined us, and we're going to take a look at this thing. It's really cool. It's made by Locar, and not only does it have park reverse neutral drive, but it's got some other cool features which I'm going to show you. In the Mustangs of this era, you've got a toggle position that changes in sport mode to be able to electronically shift or bump shift up and down. This one supposedly will access those features once I put it together. We're gonna find that out.
So cool seeing an engine and trans like this on a chassis. It just makes me want to put a milk crate on this and just drive it because it's so cool. I pulled the cab off so that I can weld everything from inside and underneath, and then I can seal it with undercoating. And just to be able to sit next to engine and transmission on a chassis of this quality is pretty exciting. I'm looking really forward to the final assembly. I'm doing all the legwork now so that when you get it up on a lift later and you look at it, it looks like, you know, it was put together well and it was put together right, and that's what I'm after. So I'll take that on and off a couple more times if need be, but I want it to look as good as it's going to run.
It took a long time to get the underneath of that completed, but complete it I did, and I also had to do a clutch in a Ford Focus. Honest, Dad, I wasn't doing burnouts. Anyways, back to this.
Cab's back on. We've got the urethane insulators underneath the cab. I may need to put spacers to adjust perfect when I get the body panels on, but it's no problem now. We've got nice urethane. We'll be able to stack a washer or two, no worries there. Having 4 skates is a really big deal. I've always had 2, and then you move around with jacks and back and forth, and I don't know what I was waiting for, but best $70 I ever spent, let me tell you. Really clear glass, isn't it? Yeah, I took it out because it's all being replaced. I have new glass and new rubber all the way around. And there's a piece or two of this old, and although it's cracked, it's still better than the glass I have in the other Studebaker, which is missing glass. So, cracked, I might be able to harvest some of this stuff that would be getting tossed out anyway. So hopefully I can do that. I've got a little bit of sealing to do in here. When I had the cab off, as you saw, I did all the sealing underneath, so we're good there. I'll be able to undercoat this entire inside for heat and for sound. So that's what's next. Once I do that, I can actually start to finish wiring this thing. For me at Henderson Driveline, the drive shaft for this truck. It's done. It's ready to be picked up. I have had an enormously busy week, as I'm sure you can imagine. This truck, once I go pick that driveline up, I can bolt it together, and in theory, I could start it, put the trans in gear, and it would move. So those brakes, I'm thinking, are very important.
What do we have here? This LizardSkin, have you ever heard of it? Nah, me neither. Not until it arrived, and once it showed up, I figured, well, I'll read the directions, give it a try. It mixes real slow, doesn't really stink, it doesn't smell like it's any kind of serious chemical. What did I want to do with it? I wanted to run this drill at full throttle outside of the bucket just to see what would happen. You know I did off camera.
LizardSkin product is fantastic, and what I like the most about it is they claim that it reduces heat and sound, and let me also say I am not endorsed by them. It's just the first time I've ever used it. And they claim that it reduces heat and sound vibration considerably, and I'm hoping that it does that. But I'm sure it will, based on the consistency of the finished product. I'm sure it's going to. We're going to dynamat it also. But if it does half as good a job as they say it does, then it's worth it. And the reason that it's worth it is because the application goes on easy. There's not a lot of overspray. This little garage is attached to a house. So inside the house you couldn't even smell it. So it's non-toxic, don't eat it, but it sprays on really well. And it's water cleanup. I mean, that alone, to have an undercoating product that's water cleanup, I'm not even sure what that kit costs. I have to go back and look and see. But if you're gonna do a whole floor pan undercoating with sound and heat, give it a shot because you're gonna love it. It isn't like paint and it isn't like the days of old. So I like the LizardSkin stuff so far. How it handles out on the road, that remains to be seen. And I use this awesome stuff. Now everybody knows body mounts are made out of polyurethane, and there's other rubbers, but rather than spend big bucks on use-specific polyurethane, there's this stuff available on the internet. It's literally polyurethane, but it's dyed for some other purpose. And this stuff, you can cut it to any shape, you can drill it, grind it, make it exactly what you need, you can encapsulate it in washers, whatever you want to do with it, and it is literally a tenth of the price. No longer do you have to spend $300 to $500 on a body mount kit and all this other rigmarole. You can make it yourself because you can order this stuff in various thicknesses, and I used this to mount as an insulator between the cab and the frame, and it's fantastic, this stuff. Almost makes you want to eat it. Don't eat it. I darted out yesterday for a little journey down south. We had to go take a look at the Ford Lightning truck. Do you remember that? Take a look.
Today's pretty exciting because I'm actually going to go pick up that Ford Lightning. You guys remember that? If you haven't seen some of the other videos, I encourage you to go back and check that out. The Ford Lightning is a supercharged 5.4 rear-wheel drive truck that we have plans for, so you're going to want to stay tuned. We're going to go drag it out of the barn, and we're going to load it up and take it somewhere else where it can be amongst its own kind, if you will. There's a lot of other awesome things to see there, and we just want to get that in the works. I don't want to lose it. You know, when a good truck comes up, you want to get it. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to scoop it up and take it over there, and then we'll figure out what to do with it. Okay, well, that was a long morning of a whole lot of driving. We did get the Ford Lightning on the trailer with no brakes, and the battery was dead in the camera. So we didn't get any of that footage. However, we're not sure what we're going to do with that Lightning yet. It's a little bit rougher underneath than I would have liked, but it's still going to work out, and we are going to get a chance to film everything over by my buddy's house. He's basically got his own little car show going on of things that he has at the moment, and that's really cool. I'll get a chance to get over there next week. Meanwhile, I'm tired of driving. It was a long day, but what did we end up with? A 1999 Ford Lightning that has 360 horse, and with a tune, we hear you can get upwards of 600.
Yeah, that was really cool. I wish the camera would have been charged enough to get some footage from that, because that truck, stay tuned to the channel. You're going to want to see what we end up choosing to do with that. So stay tuned to the channel. And if you haven't seen that truck yet, go back and take a look at some of the other videos. Now, why would you do that? Well, here's a Hemi all-wheel drive Studebaker. You're going to see a lot of Hemi all-wheel drive stuff. You're also going to see a lot of Coyote-powered stuff. There's some foreign stuff, and we're about to embark on our first diesel. So you loyal followers, thank you very much. And all you new people, take a look at some of the old stuff. So if you like what you see, please remember to hit that like button at the bottom. If you have a half a second, go ahead and hit subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. You'll get notifications on the different builds that are coming up and any new video releases. So I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.